the most common time that you can help somebody is when they're down. And there are a lot of people that are down because they're at their end roads and they don't know where to turn. That when people come into any of our branch locations, that you outreach your arms and you help them and you see what their problems are. I think that's what we brought to this industry. I think that's what we brought to this community, that we try to outreach to the people that need us the most, and we're here to help serve them.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first item on the agenda, Teacher Association reports. Mr. James, do you have anything?
I do, thank you.
Okay.
Good evening. On behalf of the teachers of the Spencer East Brookfield School District, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to the retired teachers and staff of the school district. Back in early April, when the retirees were forced off of their current health insurance program, the school district generated $250,000 in revenue. $200,000 of that revenue went to replacing obsolete computers in the district and virtually eliminated the need for a taxpayer-financed debt exclusion. This came at no small expense for the retirees who are on fixed incomes. Many of them saw substantial increases in their health insurance premiums and out-of-pocket expenses. I cannot speak for the taxpayers of the towns, nor the school committee, but for the teachers, we acknowledge, recognize, and respect the contribution you retirees have made. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. James. Next issue, hearing for visitors. Anybody wish to be heard? Okay, seeing none. Secretary's report. You have a copy of the minutes of the meeting of June 24th in your packet. If there are no corrections or additions, is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Nordquist, second.
Second.
Second by Angela. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted. Unfinished business, curriculum report. Dr. Melby.
There's nothing new to add to what our curriculum work as over the course of the summer. We did send the dates on to our consulting group. If you recall, we approved 3 additional half-days at the last school committee meeting for the specific purpose of the new teacher evaluation instrument. So we've sent them on, and we'll build that into not only the calendar but to our professional development activities. Other than that, there's nothing new to report on our end. We continue to do some cleanup work during the summer. And kind of a downside note to it is, I guess it's hard to keep good people in one spot. And we were recently notified that one of our contact professionals at the State Department of Education through the DSAC group is going to be leaving the State Department of Education this summer and going to Leicester as the new assistant superintendent for curriculum there. So our loss, as with many other districts throughout the Commonwealth, will be Leicester's gain. So we're sad to see that happen, but we wish her well and can't wait for a replacement equal to or greater than Kate, help me, Karen, last name? Calise, Kate Calise. So we wish her well. That's all I have.
Okay. Next item, FY15 budget update. Dr. Melby.
We're still at the figure that was approved by the committee, the 23.9, if you will, and we want to thank the folks that came to the Spencer Town meeting recently to approve that budget figure along with the reduced request on the article for the technology. We had reduced it considerably through action of the committee. And we hope that as it goes forward on the operating budget in combination with the town side, that it will be successful at the override amount to be determined. And the only thing I want to say on that is that in my recent conversation with the town administrator, Adam Gaudette, where we originally thought that there may be an override vote around about August 19th, as the state budget started to develop, and most recently with the additional money that had been put into the regional school transportation through the wonderful efforts of Senator Steve Brewer. If that does prevail through the governor's approval, then that could have a considerable impact, if you will, to lessen the overall assessments back to the towns. So with that in mind, what the town administrator is telling me now is that the date of August 19th is fluid. I think everyone is hopeful that the governor will approve the budget with that additional transportation aid for our regional school districts, and if so, they can lower the assessment and therefore lower the amount that then would be required for any potential override. So we're waiting with bated breath, if you will. We have a contact in Senator Brewer's office, but when they elect the Pope and you have white smoke, we don't have the white smoke coming yet. We'll just have to remain optimistic that that will prevail.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Malvey. The next item, superintendent search update. All the members, you received a copy of the brochure in your package. The search committee had their first meeting. They're meeting again this coming Thursday. The advertisements have gone out in the TNG and on all the websites, School Spring, as well as Mass Association of School Committees. I believe they've done somewhere around 1,300 or 1,400 mailings to current administrators throughout Mass and Connecticut. So things are moving along. The committee will meet this Thursday, and they will start to create questions and discuss issues that they want to raise with the candidates as they interview them through the process. So we'll give you another update after Thursday's meeting and let you know where we are at that point. But things are moving along. Next issue, parking lot lines. Dr. Malvey?
Yeah, if I may, Mr. Chairman, and for the committee's information, I forgot to mention the, back on the budget piece, the FY15. In that, we still do not have a, technically an approved budget because we're waiting for Spencer to finish their approval process. Come July 1 of this year, when there is no approved budget through the normal legal mechanisms, the Commissioner of Education sets a budget figure, and we have now been notified, first verbally and then by a letter from the Commissioner, that the Commissioner has set a budget figure of the 23.9, if you will, that we had been requesting and is up for consideration. But the Commissioner is using that to establish a 1/12th budget. That is, over the 12 months, if we were to have to go that long, we simply take 1/12 of that 23.9, and the Commissioner allows us legally to expend up to that point. We will be very, very careful not to hit that point, if you will, and live within our means as we go through July and August, and hopefully it gets resolved by that time as we start school. But if not, then the next step that would be involved, if it's not approved by the override vote in Spencer, it would come back for consideration of the school committee, could potentially end up as a district-wide regional town meeting, and if it's not approved, then ultimately the Commissioner would step back in by December 1 to set a figure, and it's anyone's call, if you will, what that figure might be. So we're able to operate as of July 1 at 1/12 the amount of the 23.9, and as I say, we'll be very, very conservative with that and not go too far on the limit. We don't want to max out the credit card too soon.
Thank you. And the update on the parking lot?
Oh,
Yeah.
on the parking lots, I did get a response back from the town administrator, Mr. Gaudette, and he said that they don't recall having done it in the past, although way back years ago may have been, but He offered and said that if they were to get involved, they would want us to pay for the paint, they would supply the labor, and we would have to provide the labor costs, pay the labor costs for whatever it required for a crew. With that, they'd also asked that we had some of our custodial staff on hand to help in the preparation, sweeping, blowing off dust and gravel, et cetera, et cetera. So it's the call of the committee. If you want me to pursue it, we can do our best on cost estimating that out to see what it would be compared to if we did it on our own. We do have probably not as a good piece of equipment to do lines, but if we were to do it on our own, be happy to go back and do a cost breakdown of that municipal side versus us and bring it back for your consideration.
What's the pleasure of the board? Any comments or suggestions?
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Nyquist.
To get back on this line painting, I think it was 6 or 7 years ago, to get back when the town did it. They have the farms to put on the line when they paint, just like they do in the streets. They have a farm, they spray in the middle, and they move on. And I was told last month that the school has their own line paint. I haven't seen that makes a difference, but I can't believe that we have a line paint, we never even use it. Now, if they're talking about the one at the high school, at the fields, that's not line paint, that's lime, and that's not the same as paint. But I brought that forward last month. If we got a cost, they come in, they do their job, and they go home. And as far as if they get a price, I'll just use a figure, $4,000 as a figure, and it'll be done. And as far as the help goes from for custodians, they should be there helping, sweeping, help out, keep the costs down, and they should get involved. In the past, we had problems when we were moving schools that the janitors just disappeared, and they weren't to be seen, and the town was upset. They were helping us, and they disappear. So I can see where they're coming from. This is a coordinated effort. They both should work together. And if there's too much money, fine. But if we go out for bid, I've seen it in the past, different schools, it comes in about $14,000, $15,000. And the same thing, they have the machine, they have the farm to put on the lines, and they paint it, and it lasts. And if we don't paint it, down the road, there's going to be no lines to park. I mean, it just makes the place look a lot better. And for that kind of money, I think it's a great investment.
Okay, thank you, Kurt. Is there a motion from the board to direct the superintendent to contact the town administrator and to set this up?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Cludier. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted. Okay, next issue under new business, Chapter 32B, Sections 21 to 23. This was put on the agenda originally, Mr. Cludier. Did you want to?
Yeah, just at this point, I'd like to refer this to executive session this evening.
Okay.
But what I would like to have done as well, and I'll make that in the form of a motion. We'll start there.
Okay, a motion by Mr. Cludier to refer this to executive session. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Nyquist. Discussion?
If I may, just for clarification, if the motion could be, the reason it's being referred to executive session, that it is a item that would eventually be negotiated?
It's collective bargaining
Right.
issue, yes.
Yep.
Okay. Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Cludier.
if I might, for our next business meeting on this issue, I would like under new business, this same issue brought back forward and put on the agenda for a vote by this board. I'd also make in the form of a motion that the superintendent notify the bargaining units, each responsible person of the bargaining units, that vote will be taking place, one way or another, at our next meeting.
Motion made by Mr. Cludier. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Napton. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted. Nothing further?
That's it. I did pass out to each one of the members. I copied the information that I had received earlier this year, back in February. So that wasn't in our packet, and it gives the members a chance to review it.
Okay, so if all members could review that for our next meeting, it'd be appreciated. Next item, Southern Worcester County Collaborative Appointment. Dr. Malvy?
This is just a procedural item. All the districts that participate in this particular collaborative have a representative from school districts, and in most instances, it's the superintendent or a designee. It's a pro forma. When I came into the district last summer, you acted on it as well. It's a new requirement that the school committees do officially vote, so we're asking for procedural purposes to appoint myself as the representative to the South Worcester County Educational Collaborative.
Motion to appoint Dr. Malvy to the collaborative.
Motion to appoint, Mr. Chairman. He did a great job last time.
Motion by Mr. Nordquist, second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Messier. Further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so voted. The next item, personnel information. You have in your packet a list of personnel appointments. Anybody have any questions for administration in regards to that? If not, you also have your enrollment figures in your packet. Any questions in regards to that? School newsletters, if there are any there in your packet, any questions on those? If not, next item, hearing for visitors. Anybody? Yes. Mr. Tomlin?
You know, I really can't let that comment go that Mr. Nordquist said about the custodians last summer. I was there every day with them at 6 o'clock in the morning, every single day in the summer in sweltering heat, moving schools all over the district. They did not disappear. They worked extremely, extremely hard, and they should be commended for their work and not slammed up here at a public meeting. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to be heard? School committee comments, future agenda topics. Any members have any?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Nordquist?
I'd like to have an agenda, whether it's, if it's next couple of weeks or before school starts. I'd like to have the two principals from East Brookfield and Knox Trail come up with a plan to take them out level 3, so we have some idea of when that's going to take place and how it's going to be done.
Okay. Any other issues that members want added on? Just from an information standpoint, Dr. Malvy appointed Mr. Bayshant, Dave Bayshant, as the interim principal at the high school, and he is in the process of working out a contract
That's correct.
at this time. He'll inform us as soon as that's completed.
The Chairman, before you, just have one more
Yes.
question.
Yep.
Dr. Mel, did you hear from Steve Hines about getting some people working here for summer?
Say again, Kurt?
From Steve Hines, Lieutenant, at the jail, did you ever get a...
We've contacted him, but we don't have a commitment yet. I haven't heard anything different. Ron? No? We haven't heard any commitment from him.
Okay, thank you.
At the last meeting, we had some discussion in regards of workers and the computer issues and stuff, and I know that Mr. Torrey had been appointed. Do we have a contract with him yet, Dr. Malvy, or are we?
He's been hired, but we're working out the details of the contract now.
Okay, you inform us when it's completed. Okay,
Linda Sandlin.
and Linda Stanlin, you,
Yes, I've reappointed Linda Stanlin to the principal position at Wyer Village, and I've offered her a 3-year contract, and we're working out the details. I have, in my career, have had a number of interim people that we've brought into the various districts I've been in, and I dare say that Linda Stanlin has probably been one of the best finds that I've had as a professional educator, and I think she not only did the job for us this year, coming in a little bit late after school begun, but she took to the task very, very well, and I know she's tremendously committed to the students and the staff and the parents, and I think she's a great asset to our district.
thank you. Any other issues from the members as far as future topics or comments? If not, the chair would like a motion to go into executive session to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation, and also for a grievance review.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Cludier, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Napton. On a roll call vote, Mr. Cludier?
Aye.
Ms. Messier?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Mr. Ethia?
Aye.
Ms. Napton?
Aye.
Mr. Nyquist?
Aye.
Okay, we will reconvene for the purpose of adjournment only. Thank you.